Many on the stage tonight have been outspoken about illegal immigration and drugs coming across the southern border. But how far should the U.S. go to stop that flow of drugs? Should the U.S. military actually cross the border to further U.S. interests? And what would that look like? We will begin with you, Councillor Prescott.
To go over the border, if we have strong ties with Mexico, to work with them to root out the problem, I would be in favor of that. But just to say that we're going to go over and be, directing military aid down there without having a full, detailed plan, I would never be want to be involved with that.
Mr. Mowers.
You know, I'm the only one here who worked with President Trump to both disrupt the flow of Chinese fentanyl coming into the United States, as well as to secure the border to stop it from coming across the border. Fentanyl right now is the #1 killer of those 18 to 45. Fentanyl. There's over 100,000 deaths every single year of Americans because of fentanyl. We should be declaring the drug cartels as terror organizations. We got to have folks who have the backbone and willingness to say that. Because if any other organization were to kill over 100,000 Americans every single year, that's exactly what we'd call them. You know, I don't talk about this much, but my mom suffers from addiction. Has for a long time with both drugs, with both painkillers and alcohol. I know the pain and suffering that so many go through when they see loved ones who suffer from addiction. I can only imagine if it somehow wasn't just alcohol and painkillers, but was fentanyl. There is no coming back from that. We owe it to our neighbors and the lives that have lost to get serious and tough. That means declaring them as terrorist organizations, hunting them down, and disrupting these illicit networks. I've done it before, and I will do it again to protect New Hampshire.
To you, Ms. Brown.
So I am the only one here who's actually been to the border. And Matt, I am sorry to hear about your family's addiction issue. I really am. Addiction is a terrible, terrible thing. But you've had 4 years to go down to the border and find out what's happening there. I did go down to the border, so concerned about the fentanyl coming up here and killing our young people. Like probably everyone here, I've lost friends to fentanyl overdoses. Went down to the border. I got the Patrol Council's endorsement, and they have not endorsed very many people. I got the endorsement from Sean Hannity because he knows that I will work to get on Homeland Security and do everything I can to close the border. We are not a nation without borders. We are not a nation. We have to finish the wall. We have to close the asylum loophole. It allows people to come into this country and stay here indefinitely. We never find them again. They're lost. We can't allow that to happen anymore. We have to close the border.
All right, to you, Ms. Levitt.
Well, let's be very clear about what is going on in our country right now. The Democrats, Joe Biden, Chris Pappas included, are allowing for an illegal invasion of our country, both with illegal aliens. More illegal aliens have poured into our country than there are citizens of our great state of New Hampshire over the past 2 years. And we have seen an unprecedented amount of fentanyl pouring into our communities. It's hurting our law enforcement community, and it's hurting my generation of Granite Staters. I have former friends, colleagues, teammates who are no longer with us because they stuck a needle in their arms with drugs that came up from our southern border. We have to build the wall that President Trump fought so hard to accomplish. We've already paid for some of it. There's resources rotting away at the southern border right now that this administration is not utilizing for political gain. We need to return to the Remain in Mexico policy that was very effective, and we need to re-implement the effective migrant deterrent policies that are allowing these drug traffickers to invade our country. And I will always vote against amnesty when I am elected to Congress. We need to be a nation of law and order and strong borders, and this must be a day one priority of this new Congress.
And your thoughts, Representative Baxter?
Well, the fentanyl, the heroin is coming over the southern border. It's destroying our communities here in New Hampshire. And that's why I started a small nonprofit, Second Chances, to help people struggling with addiction get into treatment programs. And I've been proud to help 12 people get a second chance. It's been one of the most humbling things in my life. And we have to get tough on immigration, on illegals. Here in New Hampshire, I led the fight in the legislature to stop illegal aliens. We should bus them out of this state. We should bus them to Joe Biden's mansion in Delaware and the White House in D.C. But I led the fight to mandate E-Verify to get illegals out of New Hampshire. This is vital. We have to secure the border, build the wall, and never have amnesty in any way, shape, or fashion in this country. And just like I led the effort here in New Hampshire, I'll be committed to leading the fight in D.C. to stop illegals.